Right before you leave the house, your dog does something. Maybe you have seen it 100 times and never thought twice about it. A little pacing, a few licks of the lips, following you from room to room as you get ready. And if you are like most dog owners, you have interpreted this as excitement, maybe even cuteness. Oh, they know I am leaving, they are just being silly. But what if I told you that what you are watching is not excitement at all? What if it is one of the clearest signs of anxiety your dog can give you? And you have been missing it for years. By the end of this video, you will never look at your dog's pre-departure behavior the same way again. Because once you understand what these signals actually mean, you will start noticing them everywhere. And more importantly, you will finally have the power to help your dog feel safe, even when you are not in the room. Let us start with the most commonly misread signal, following you from room to room. You go to the bathroom to brush your teeth, your dog follows. You go to the bedroom to grab your jacket, your dog follows. You go to the kitchen to grab your keys, your dog follows. Most owners find this endearing. Some even feel a little proud of it, as if it proves how bonded their dog is to them. And in some ways, it does show bond. But there is a difference between a relaxed dog casually keeping you company and a dog who is anxiously monitoring your every move because they sense something is about to change. The tell is in the body. A relaxed follower has a loose, swinging gait, soft ears, and a relaxed tail. An anxious follower moves stiffly. Their head stays low. Their eyes track you constantly, even when their body is technically still doing something else. If your dog cannot seem to let you out of their sight in the 20 minutes before you leave, that is not just love. That is vigilance. And vigilance, in a dog's nervous system, is a stress response. Next, let us talk about lip licking, one of the most overlooked stress signals in dogs. When most people think about a dog licking their lips, they think about food. Maybe your dog is hungry. Maybe they smell something good. But outside of mealtime, lip licking is actually one of the most reliable canine stress signals that exists. It is part of a category of behaviors researchers call calming signals, small, almost involuntary actions dogs use to soothe their own nervous system when they are feeling uneasy. Watch your dog closely in the minutes before you leave. If you see quick, repeated tongue flicks, not a slow, satisfied lick, but a fast little dart of the tongue across the lips, that is not hunger. That is your dog trying to self-soothe in real time. It often appears alongside other subtle signs. A slightly lowered head, ears pulled back just a touch, or a stillness that looks almost frozen. These are not random quirks. They are your dog's nervous system, quietly screaming for reassurance, using the only language it has. Now here is one that surprises almost everyone. Yawning. We associate yawning with being tired or bored. But in dogs, yawning that happens outside of waking up or settling down for sleep is very often a stress response, not a tiredness response. If your dog yawns while watching you put on your shoes, that yawn is doing the same job as the lip lick. It is a built-in mechanism for regulating anxiety. Here is what makes this one tricky. A single yawn here and there is normal. Every dog yawns sometimes. What you are looking for is a yawn that happens at a very specific, repeated moment, right as your departure routine begins. If your dog yawns every single time you pick up your keys, every single time you put on your coat, that is not coincidence. That is a conditioned stress response. Your dog has learned to associate that specific action with your absence, and their body is already trying to cope with the anxiety before you have even walked out the door. Let us talk about something even more telling: the pre-departure pace. This is different from simply following you around. This is a distinct, repetitive walking pattern, often back and forth along the same short path, sometimes circling, sometimes just shifting from foot to foot near the door. It can look almost mechanical, and many owners describe it as their dog getting excited because, frankly, it does involve movement and energy. But excitement and anxiety can look remarkably similar on the outside, while feeling completely different on the inside. The difference is in the rhythm. Excited movement tends to be loose, bouncy, and accompanied by a relaxed, open mouth and a softly wagging tail. Anxious pacing is tighter, more repetitive, often silent, with a closed or tense mouth, and a tail that is lower and stiffer than usual. If your dog's pacing has a tense, looping quality, almost like they are trying to walk off a feeling they cannot shake, that is your dog's body attempting to discharge stress hormones that are already built in before you have even left. And then there is the one most people find the hardest to believe, clinginess. In the final 60 seconds, you know this moment. You are about to walk out, and suddenly your dog is pressing against your leg, or sitting directly on your feet, or putting a paw on your knee. It feels sweet. It feels like a goodbye hug. And in part, it is an expression of attachment. But when this behavior is intense, repetitive, and specifically timed to your departure routine, not random affection throughout the day, it is often what behaviorists call anticipatory anxiety. Your dog's body is bracing for an absence it cannot control or predict the length of. The key here is not to feel guilty. It is to recognize the difference between a dog who is simply affectionate and a dog whose body is in active anticipatory stress. One is a dog enjoying connection. The other is a dog trying to prevent a separation they have come to fear. So now you might be wondering, what do you actually do with this information? First, resist the urge to make a big emotional production out of leaving. Long, drawn-out goodbyes with high-pitched, sympathetic voices. "Oh, I know, baby. I am sorry. Mommy has to go." Actually confirm to your dog that something worth being upset about is happening. Instead, keep your energy calm and matter-of-fact. A brief, warm acknowledgement is enough. Your dog takes emotional cues directly from you, and the calm exit teaches their nervous system that departures are not emergencies. Second, start decoupling the trigger cues from the actual departure. If your dog has learned that keys equal abandonment, pick up your keys sometimes, and then sit back down. Put on your shoes and then make a cup of coffee instead of leaving. Over time, this breaks the rigid association between specific actions and your absence, so your dog's stress response stops firing the moment you reach for your jacket. And third, give your dog something to do in those final minutes that is not watching you. A frozen treat, a slow feeder, a favorite chew. This shifts their nervous system from anxious anticipation into a calmer, occupied state before you are even out the door. Here is what I want you to remember. Your dog is not being dramatic. They are not just being clingy or just being weird. Every pace, every lick, every yawn, every rest of their body against yours, in those final moments before you leave, it is a language. A quiet, desperate, deeply loving language that has been asking you to notice for a long time, and now you do. You do not need to fix everything today. You do not need to feel guilty for every goodbye you have ever said. What you need is exactly what you are doing right now, paying attention. Because the moment you start truly seeing your dog's signals, you start building the kind of trust that no amount of treats or training alone can create. Your dog has been speaking this whole time. Now, you finally understand.